me here in the studio is the Times columnist and Conservative peer Matt Ridley, and in Salford is Professor Martin mckee of the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. First of all, Professor mckee, are e-cigarettes unsafe?
Well, I think we're actually asking the wrong question.
Do you believe then that certain cigarettes which contain, e-cigarettes which contain is more than 20 mgs of nicotine, therefore should be banned?
Well, I think we're actually asking the wrong question.
So there's a kind of a Trojan horse for real smoking?
Well, I think we're actually asking the wrong question.
So actually it's just adding to the general smoking tally rather than removing cigarettes in favour of e-cigarettes?
No, the evidence is that smoking is going down and e-cigarettes are going up. I mean, the use of e-cigarettes quadrupled in the last year in this country. And all the evidence suggests it's now the top way of quitting cigarettes. Quitting smoking. I mean, it's the most popular way in this country for people to get off cigarettes, and that's it from a standing start within about a year.
But what about the idea that ones that are very heavy on nicotine are actually pretty harmful? I mean, they're addictive.
Nicotine is addictive, yes,
yeah.
but so's coffee. You know, coffee's addictive. People are addicted to coffee. Nicotine is not very harmful, and the NHS website says very firmly that these things are probably about 1,000 times safer than cigarettes. So these are bringing about the end of smoking.
So you don't believe in capping the amount of nicotine that should be in these cigarettes?
Well, I think the problem with capping the amount of nicotine is that it would get rid of exactly the products that people are using to quit. So the quitters are going for the strong ones, and then they're going down. I've had hundreds of emails since I started writing about this from people who moved on to strong cigarettes and then went on to weaker ones. And the evidence suggests that, e-cigarettes,
yes,
that 100,000 people or so would be at risk if they didn't have, because they wouldn't be able to quit.
You've got the e-cigarette manufacturers and the charities together saying that e-cigarettes essentially are a good thing because they're cutting the rate of heart disease and related problems all over Europe. Professor?
Well, I think we're actually asking the wrong question.
Do you believe that actually, obviously we're not allowed cigarette adverts on television, do you believe e-cigarettes should face the same advertising ban?
Well, I think we're actually asking the wrong question.
To be fair, I have seen lots of kids smoking e-cigarettes. Well, not lots. I've seen kids on corners smoking e-cigarettes. Is that okay?
Well, no, it's not, and it's quite right that they shouldn't be available to children. But the evidence is that among young people as well as among adults, these are being used as a gateway out of cigarettes.
But the ads are incredibly glamorous. They say smoking is cool. Any kind of smoking is cool, essentially.
But I don't think that's the effect they're having. I mean, what we're talking about here is relative risk, harm reduction. You know, we mustn't make the best the enemy of the good. The way to, I mean, smoking is declining slowly under, prescriptive from doctors and so on. But this could accelerate the decline, and I think we should encourage technologies that accelerate the decline.
Just before we finish, I just want to turn to the story of a possible tax on sugar. Matt Ridley, sugar's an addiction. We've got a problem with type 2 diabetes. There's a proposal now for a tax on sugar. Is it a good idea?
No, I think it's a mistake. I don't think we should be micromanaging people's diets. People should be left to make up their own minds about these things. And taxes are not about how we micromanage what people do. We should use taxes to raise money.
But social engineering is actually sometimes for the good, surely. I mean, therefore people are actually encouraged in certain ways to take less sugar.
Indeed, but it's not I mean, you can't pick this out as sort of one thing and say taxing it's the right way to do it. I think we should leave people to make up their own minds, and we should raise taxes to spend on public services. That should be how you do taxing. Taxing shouldn't be about how to encourage or discourage particular things.
Well, e-cigarettes and sugar.
Bubblegum.
Thank you both very much for joining us tonight.